Hi there. Welcome back to Healthy Accord Spiritually. On this platform, I speak on all things spirituality as it applies to some of the signs, symbols, rules, and guidances we ought to pay attention to that I myself have been paying attention to for quite some time, many years. Should this interest you to know what are the signs and symbols that you ought to pay attention to that are spiritually significant and vital to your well-being, I encourage you to subscribe to our platform. That way you are notified when I make new videos. And if you are continuing on the series, Pata, Pay Attention to Ancestors, welcome back. Welcome to Pata, where I am sharing with you, forms that ancestors be, and sharing therein some lived experience stories that you might resonate with. In today's video, Pata, Pay Attention to Ancestor, my presentation, sharing, teaching will be just that. Me sharing with you my heart expression, my rationale for this map behind me. This video is literally brought on based on my observation of living here in America for well over 10 years. Even before I decided to answer the call of walking with ancestor and answering to the duty and doing my part as it applies to my gifts they've provided me with. So that's it. I'll just be speaking truthfully. I have not drafted any script or any such that I want to glean on and follow a specific path or direction on this topic about this map. So I also want to say, as I may feel passionate about what I shall be speaking on, I want to refrain from any dramatics because there's just too much of that. And walking with my medicine, it is not me adding to the rubble, it's not doing my part. So without any further ado, I present you this map. A big map, isn't it? I really hope it stays up for the duration of this presentation / sharing. I have this map up here because it shows, of course, the world, the globe here on Earth. Technically, it shows our middle world. We're not presenting the celestial or the subterranean world as it is. This is our middle world, the map we have. So just want to caveat that. Well, this map is here because it points to the reality of the many colors that we come in. I'm having a hard time saying the different part of the world because when spirit, my ancestors, open my eyes, we are literally not different. We are so not different. From Asia, from Europe, from Africa, South America, North America, we are not different. And I feel called and passionate to speak on this because it is something that we all have to bring it to the forefront. I'm grateful that I've been in America, and I'm grateful that Americans come from all walks of life and are open-minded. One thing I would like Americans, regardless of ethnicity, and you watching this regardless of where you are in the world, that's the heart of this video. When it comes to spirituality, Africans are not superior to you. Asians are not superior to you. When it comes to spirituality, I will say that again. When it comes to your ancestor gifts, which is why this is presented in this series, because it is very important towards paying attention to ancestor. You may have chosen to reincarnate into this lifetime as a European. You are probably from Denmark. You're from South America. You're from Australia. Pick any part of the world, any spiritual land, any ancestor, as far as the land that you dwell on, wherever you are a citizen of or born from, wherever that you've chosen to make your home and call home, your ancestors, beautiful as they are, we all have them in common. No one piece of country here or any group of people spiritually, you know, what their spiritual duty is, I don't think that makes you lesser on the totem pole. Now, in the organization that we call an institution, college, a school, high school, you know that the principal there, their job is different from the secretary. Their job is different from the finance administrator. Their job is different from the registrar. And their job is certainly, and the registrar's job is certainly different from a guidance counselor. And the guidance counselor job is certainly different from the teacher that engages with the student. Using that example of analogy, you understand that those many parts that those individuals play within the institution that we call school, college, whatever type of schools that there are, those people's titles, their roles, they all jive together to contribute so that that institution can function successfully, and they carry the beautiful brand and continue to receive more students into their school, into their college or university. We, humankind, regardless of where we come from, where we chose to reincarnate into this lifetime here on earth, our channel pathway that we came through, it does not take away anything from you. I have been quite confused actually when I engage with my European ancestors, aka the Caucasians. Yeah, in the past they were strangers, acquaintances. I was just so not understanding why the person will just remove themselves from being spiritual. They're like, oh yeah, you know, but I'm sure, you know, they will rather want to focus the conversation on African centric, Asian centric, South American centric. And as an observer, it appears to me that those individuals, it's as if they were communicating saying, oh, I am European. I don't deal with spirituality. I am European. We don't do that. You guys have the juju, mojo, juice. And that is not the case at all. from the vast way I have observed ancestors present love and care, this is not a pick and choosing thing. This is not, oh, everything is here and we will just give them small and nothing and we won't give them. No, that's not how I view it at all. So I also want to say, on the journey of walking with spirit and just sitting in the spaces and communities that I sat in, being part of ceremonies and rituals, it provided confirmation and brought love and joy to my heart to say, oh my goodness, yes, this person is walking with their ancestor. And when they speak of the European ancestors, they are not doing so with disrespect or disdain. And when individuals speak of African ancestors, they are not doing so with any taint to it. They're just, they'll say, oh yeah, well, history said this, history said that, and they don't dabble or engage with that drama or the whatever that comes with. They don't engage with that. They acknowledge that, oh yeah, my DNA ancestry result shows that, well, wow, I have 15% of South American, 20% African, and this percentage. And those individuals, what I love was that they chose to not only walk with their medicine, but through the DNA ancestry investigation, they now have acknowledged, oh, so this is another way that I am part of the collective, that I show up as being one of the many. I have not enjoyed observing that at all when it comes to spirituality or when people are speaking on their spiritual gifts. How certain persons, and this doesn't only happen with Europeans or Caucasians, you know, it happens with most and many people, especially the ones that are very indoctrinated in modern ways and modernity, and the ones that say, if I don't see it, touch it, or whatever else, it doesn't exist. Those individuals, I have sat across from, yeah, people from African background too, people from South American background, and they just shy away from anything that is spirituality. And when I even mention my African background, or, you know, that just mentioning small things about witnessing experience and how spirit or ancestors in a spirit form are celebrated, they want me to continue talking about that. And when I even ask, oh yeah, sure, I mean, so what is your ancestral background? You know, you are an American, sure. I mean, I'm an American now too, of course. But when I go to engage in the conversation asking about their ancestors, they only want to cement their place as an American. And I'm telling that, but you have European ancestors. I mean, not to peg you, but you look very European. They're like, yeah, you know, yeah, sure. We come from Norway or somewhere there in Germany. Okay, those are your ancestors. I'm interested to learn more. Sure. Can you talk more about your ancestor? And they would just shyly say, well, yeah, well, I'm a third generation removed, first generation. People then start to tell me what generation they come from, to then, it's as if they are removing any responsibility that they have to go and do their research and do their part and learn about the first people that came, the first people that came and established what we now have. I did not like those interactions. And because of that, I would resist sharing anything from my African background in those conversations. And if you watching this, you remember my face and you've had a conversation with me, and I just didn't share anything about myself. I'm not talking about in the spaces where I sat in ceremony, because that was not the place to do a lot of talking, but in the day-to-day interaction, you would know that I just didn't share anything about myself from my African background. And that's because the previous persons that I sat with, if you're not going to come to the table and sit across from me with some level of, how can I say this? We aren't happy about a lot of things. So that's not what I'm saying, okay? That's not what I'm saying. We don't all have to be happy about certain group and what they did or what they didn't do, because not doing something is just as awful as the awful thing that was done. Not doing something to prevent or speak, da 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 da. Okay, I think you catch what I was trying to say. Okay. I am not saying that individuals, should just rush through their healing process. Because now, doing my part, walking with my ancestral gifts that they've given me, I have realized and understand and acknowledge that those many persons that did say, I am first generation remove, I am third generation remove, I don't know nothing about that, they are going through their healing process. They still have a grief process to go through. Shoot, I certainly know I've been through mine, coming from where I come from. I came to America and all I know was, oh yeah, I come from Liberia. And you come to America and someone is telling you that your identity is something else and presenting to you horrific graphic images of what transpired, and thereby you, that person, have a responsibility to then heal from that. So I say that to say I too went through my grief process, because I come to this beautiful land called America. The ancestral spirit of the land has a lot to offer, and I'm so grateful I have received and I'm continuing to receive healing here in America. And in doing so, I'm also providing healing to this land, beautiful as it is. So possibly that was the task. When I traveled from here and come here, I came to receive healing, I came to shed certain skin or something like that, and I also came to support. So that's what I intend to present this map. When we speak of ancestors, yes, the humankind and the human form that it takes, paying attention to ancestors is paying attention to how you feel about when you say, I'm first generation. Why are you removed from your pathway of the land that you reincarnated to? Why do you feel removed from that? And this is literally not any slight or shaming or any of that. It is your process. I respect it. It is delicate. So take your time with it. I present this map to show and pinpoint that spirituality and the gifts is just not restricted to any one group. Because my experience with some of my American interactions, when it comes to spirituality, they just think, oh, well, I don't have nothing to share or teach you. Oh, but they absolutely do. They absolutely do. And if you watch the previous video that I made, you would have learned that how I have learned from those interactions, especially persons who are subject matter experts on various things. So as ancestors, We have a lot to exchange from one another. We have many gifts to exchange from one another. So, Europeans, you are spiritually gifted. I mean, we all are. Each person, we have a part to play. South America, pick any region here. The persons that dwell there as children of the land, children of ancestors, we have a lot to do as they have gifted us the tools that we need to do those things. So that's my intention to share this. I just hope it lands well with certain persons that do speak that way when they feel like in the conversation, they just feel like, oh, okay, I don't want the spotlight on me. Ooh, I'm Europeans. We don't celebrate, goddesses, gods. I would have thought that, but my research and reading, the rich details that has come from Europe as to what the previous ancestors from Europe, how they loved up on the land, they celebrated. I am so grateful that they did, and I'm so grateful that present humankind ancestors are remembering that and honoring the ways that those first Europeans have done. Because I kid you not, those details from the continent is not available to me. It's not available to me. The land is keeping some of it, and some of it, there are certain humans, I believe, that are concealing it because they know why they are concealing it. But there are certain details here that Europeans have archived and preserved and done certain things, and I'm so proud that they've kept those details. And I'm so grateful that here for South America too, the same is true. So that's what I would appreciate if you could please come to the table with, especially if you're from the European ancestry, you traveled here to Earth via the European pathway. Please come to the table with that detail. Your ancestors and you are gifted, and I'm excited to learn from you too. So that's my ask. And thank you for paying attention to ancestors. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.